coolest top 5 things I have learned since reading the book of Genesis, still very early on. But number one, people can become God. Isn't that absolutely insane? Like, there is a book of knowledge, sorry, not a book, there's a tree of knowledge and a tree of life. And if somebody were to eat from the fruits of both of those, then they could become God, because the tree of life gives you immortality, the tree of knowledge gives you knowledge of all things. Is that not absolutely insane? And then God obviously gets really mad at Adam and Eve for eating the tree from the tree of knowledge, and then gets scared that they will one day eat from the tree of life. So he makes a flaming sword, which by the way is number two, coolest thing is that he makes a flaming sword to protect this tree of life from ever being approached by humans. Is that not absolutely insane and really freaking cool? So that was number 1 and 2. Number 3 is God regrets. God has regrets. God is, as well as having like fears, as we just saw, and also a different time where God has fears. But God regrets making humans. So God makes humans and allows them to populate the earth and multiply, and then they become super wicked and evil. And then God thinks to himself, you know what? These people, all they ever think about is evil things, and I'm going to wipe out the entire world except for Noah and his family. Right? Is that not insane? That's so crazy and very, very interesting to think, because I don't know if were they given like a chance to redeem themselves, or was this kind of something that like took them by surprise and they weren't sure, they were just evil people, and then one day they look up and it's just raining and it doesn't stop raining, and the flood lasts hundreds of years, right? So that's 1, 2, and 3. Number 4, I would say, is that Noah gets mad at his son because his son tried to protect his privacy. So basically Noah gets drunk, which first of all, mind-blowing, right? But anyway, gets drunk and then gets naked, and then his sons walk in and they're like, well, our dad is literally naked right now. And then the youngest son, tries to cover him up, and then when Noah wakes up, he's angry. He curses his son and says, you're going to be the servant of all of your brothers, which is so insane. I don't understand. Was he not supposed to cover up his dad? Is that not something that was like, I thought he would be grateful. I would be grateful if my kids tried to cover me up and I was like, knocked out, I was totally drunk and I was naked. Pretty insane. And also God doesn't care that Noah did any of that. God's like, yeah, no, that makes total sense to me. I'm gonna just curse your son the way you intended. Right? Very, very insane. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then let me think, what's the 5th craziest thing so far? I would probably say that it almost seems like God potentially forgot about Noah during the flood. So basically God like makes the flood, opens up the gates of heaven, and then God like it rains and it rains and it rains and it doesn't stop raining. And then at one point God remembers Noah and he's like, so then opens up the gates of like the wind to go up and dry the waters. So it almost sounds like, had God not remembered, that Noah would have continued forever to live on that ship, on that ark, and probably would have died on the water. So